the word transformation is such a it conjures up a completely different visual in your mind of where you want to go versus I just want to lose weight. I think that in and of itself is extremely powerful. What did some of those new identities for transformation look like? Because the general weight loss is either calories or massively restricting food, even going outside the gastric sleeve or surgery. But that's completely different to what you did. You
Correct.
built muscle. You got on stage in bodybuilding fitness model competitions. That's a
Yeah.
completely different transformation. Talk us through the changes that underpinned that transformation so that it wasn't just a weight loss journey of you holding up your old pair of trousers where you lost 200 pounds.
It started at going to CrossFit and then looking at guys that were super jacked. And then I would ask them, how'd you get that body? They told me that it wasn't just, hit training and cardio, it was bodybuilding. They would lift weights. And then, I started hanging around all these people that I gained their respect. You go to the gym as a fat person, it's the usual. They'll probably quit after a week or two or a month or two. Once I was hanging in there, I started getting the fist pumps at 6:30 in the morning by the guy with the six-pack abs. And I started getting the head nods, and I started getting them doing workouts and volunteering to train me and, really, really being a part of that. And then I started getting invited to lunches and dinners. And I noticed a very interesting thing. None of them were eating like crap. And if they did eat off the plan, they talked about it a lot. Like, oh man, I had this slice of pizza. I got to put in some extra work and this. And so I was like, oh, you actually have to work hard for this body. That makes sense. So it's similar to how you maintain wealth and success. You have to actually have your act together. It's same thing with people that are physically fit. They actually have intentionality. So once I realized the habits and what it takes to stay fit, get fit, and all of them actually hard on themselves and aspiring to do more, and actually them having goals, I said, man, this is a great thing to be involved in. And, I completely changed my circle.
I love that. I work with a lot of overweight and obese clients as well. And a phrase that I regularly get them to look into is tell me what you do every day and I'll tell you where you'll be in a year. And that's the same with your food, your workouts, your trainings. Out of curiosity, Anthony, based on where you are now, you have a complete rewiring or a reshifting of those habits because transformation means you're an old person or an old version of you into this new version of you. What are some of your current non-negotiables that allow you to stay in good shape all year round so that you don't slide back?
Well, first of all, I'm a public figure, so that helps, right? And my whole business is health and wellness. And now we're extremely focused on longevity, biohacking, and brain optimization, physical optimization. So I've competed. So with Fat Lolly, I competed in one a transformation title. And then with the docu-series that I did with my wife, the Super Lollies, her and I competed 32 times, including in England, all over the world. And she became a two-time bikini world pro. I became a muscle model pro. I started competing outside of transformation and competing with regular people. So, I've dieted and gotten down to like 8% body fat and gotten really lean. I put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle. I've done all sorts of different things with my body. In fact, I've even changed my shape throughout the day, one to compete in a beach body, one to compete in muscle model. So there's ways you can manipulate your look based on food, based on carbs, based on water. So I have a deep understanding. And then also, a lot of things that happen when you're in the bodybuilding community, you can binge eat after a competition and literally nothing sticks. Like you can burn that, you could eat a whole pie or two and ice cream, and it just, if anything, it just recalibrates your metabolism. So I've been able to, go off diet and do so many things. In fact, in the documentary Fat Lolly, during my surgery, because I had loose skin surgery, during that recovery period, I was eating about 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day in order to maintain a size to repair my body because it was just, cut in 360. So, but yeah, so that it's really about understanding your own body, your own biology, your own metabolism, your own weaknesses, overcoming those weaknesses, and just being at one with yourself.